Hello, 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 welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Melinda and I am doing one of the most requested videos I have received lately. This is going to be a Cricut tutorial on how to make a Winnie the Pooh centerpiece from beginning to end. So bear with me, it's gonna be a long video, but you requested it and here it is. Alright, first thing we do is get into Design Space, and I am already logged on. We want to start a new project, so over here on our left side of the screen you click the New Project. Boy, that was thinking. Okay, here we have the blank screen. I need to import my Winnie the Pooh that I'm going to make. I am going to go over here to Images and click on it. It is going to take me to all the images possible in Design Space. You do need to own the Winnie the Pooh image to be able to create it. I already have it in a full cartridge, so I'm going to hit Cartridge. I'm gonna do Pooh to bring up all the Poohs. You see right here, I have this one purchased. There are other ones that I do not own, but this is the one I want right here. So I'm gonna click on that cartridge, and I'm going to scroll down till I find the Winnie the Pooh I want to make. I am going to show you how to make the one with his arms behind his back. So I click on the image, and down below, follow my cursor right here, it shows you the image that's going to be put onto my mat. Yes, that's the one I want. Go down to the bottom right, hit Insert Image. And there he is, so cute. Okay, now Winnie the Pooh has a background, and depending on how much space you want between the yellow and the black background depends on which background you use. I'm going to go all the way over here to the right to my panel, my layers panel, and I actually want to use this one at the very bottom. It is the biggest amount of space between the Winnie the Pooh coloring and the black background, and I use this one because it gives me more space when I am hot gluing both sides together. So I am going to uncheck the little eyeball. So there it is. You see how much bigger that black space is around Winnie the Pooh. This is a personal choice. You can absolutely have the smaller space around him. I like to have the bigger amount around him when I'm making centerpieces. I am going to turn off, if you're following me on the layers on the right side of the screen, I am going to turn off this background. I do not need to cut it because I am choosing the thicker one. Okay. While the layers are together, like they are right now, all together, you want to size it to the height or width that you want to cut it as. Because once you undo the layers, ungroup them, it is really hard to figure out the sizing for each one. So size it first. And I know I'm going to go, you can either size it by taking your mouse, clicking on this and pulling it out, or you can come up here to your bar and it has a sizing right here. I know that my mat is 12 inches, so the Cricut will not let you cut a 12-inch image. It needs to be a little bit under it, so I am going to do 11 and a half, and it's going to think, and boom, there it is. While we still have it together, I need 2 of these Winnie the Poohs on a mirror image. So we are also going to do that. So I click on him, so make sure the box is around him. I right click and I duplicate. That's one of the quickest ways while it's thinking. You can also make sure he's highlighted, go over to your layers bar and hit the duplicate button. 2 different ways. Alright, now these are exactly the same, and I want this one to be a mirror image, so when I'm putting it back to back on the centerpiece, no matter which side you look at him, he is looking the same direction. Alright, in order to do that, we go back up to our working bar up here, and right here where it says flip, we click on that, and we want a horizontal flip. There he is, mirror image. Perfect. Okay, now we can ungroup because we're going to work with each piece individually so we do not waste paper. If I would just hit make it now, what the Cricut does is it makes each one of these layers a separate piece of paper because it sees the image as a whole piece. I know, waste of paper. So what we're going to do is you click on one, come over here to our layers and hit ungroup. Click on the other one, go over to our layers and hit ungroup. Alright, we have 2 Winnie the Poohs now to work with. The first thing we're going to do, which I like to do, is cut out our backgrounds. In order to just cut out your backgrounds, you want to hide all the other images that you see. So I'm going to call it yellow, the yellow part of Winnie and the shirt. Luckily this does not have too many pieces to it. So I'm going to go over here again to our layers, and any image I do not want to cut right now, I click on the eye over here in the top corner of that image. So once I click on the eye, you'll see that it disappears from my mat. That's what I want. Okay, so now I just have the backgrounds to do. If I click make it just like this, it is going to cut it on 2 separate pieces of paper. Of course, I want to save paper and I want it to cut out on 1. So we are going to have to finagle it to make sure it is in our 12 by 12. If it is not in our 12 by 12 mat, it is going to see it as another piece of paper to cut. It is going to use a different mat. So what we do is we work with the images to make sure it stays within our 12 by 12 mat. Now that is going to cut ears have to be on. It all has to be on the mat, but you see how this is crossing? So that's not gonna work. Ears are off. Okay, let's see if I completely, my computer's like, no. I'm gonna completely rotate Winnie here. See if we can get rotate this one back a little bit this way maybe. This is the part that we definitely need to figure out. Okay, are they touching? Yeah, they're still touching. Needs to be above 12. Is this one above 12? Neither of them are. Above 12. Above 12. Make sure it's above 12 here on the side. I could actually bring it up like right there. All right. We have it all within the 12 diameters. Now, I know. The next step, I know, there's never enough with this Cricut. Okay, the next step is, even though we have it, it is still going to put it on two separate pieces of paper. It will not read it like this. We need to tell it that this is how we want it to cut out on the mat. So you can either, we need to click both of them. So I'm going to go up here and hit select all at the top. And then I am going to attach it to the mat so they do not move. In order to do that, we go to our layers panel, go all the way to the bottom, and right here the little paper clip says attach. So we click attach, and that keeps it on the mat exactly how we put it. Now we go up here to make it. Oh, I didn't turn my machine on. Let me turn on my machine. Okay, let me get my machine set up. I'm gonna. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. My machine is on and it's ready to go. So over here at the top right, I'm gonna hit make it. It's gonna show me how it's gonna cut out. I'm gonna hit continue down in the right lower half. It's connecting to my machine. Now it's saying connect. I have two different machines. One is wireless and one is USB. That's what it's asking me. Okay, so right now over here it says material set to vinyl. So the last thing I cut was vinyl. I need to change that to cardstock. That is what I'm using, is cardstock. So I'm going to change it. All right. I changed the dial on my machine. As you can see now, it says cardstock, and then it tells me that I need to go over and load the mat. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. All right, here's my machine. This is the dial that I moved over to cardstock. It is on and ready to load. I put my black piece of cardstock onto my Cricut mat. Now you normally need two hands for this. So let's see if I'm gonna need two hands. Okay, so you place it in the grooves up against the rollers, and then you're gonna hit this load button that's blinking, the arrows. So let me do that. I will be right back with y'all. Okay, so it is all ready to go. It's loaded. Now the start button is blinking. So all you do is hit go. The computer tells the machine to cut the Winnie the Poohs. Alright, it is all done cutting the backgrounds, and it's telling me now the blinking arrow to unload the mat. So you click that and the wheels will unload it for you. And then you can see the cutout lines of the Winnie the Pooh. We just go ahead, I'm going to close that to give myself a platform, and then you just take off the cardstock. Wow, this is not so easy one-handed, but you can start seeing Winnie. Okay. All right, and there we have two Winnie the Pooh's mirror image. Now I will cut this out again to make the backing double in order to make it thicker before I hot glue it together. Okay, we just finished cutting out our background of Winnie the Pooh, and then you'll go down to the right hand when you unload the mat and hit finish. That will bring us back to our original image and mat, so we can continue on with the rest of the items for Winnie the Pooh. So we are done with the back. We did 2 of these, remember? And then I'm going to come down here to our layers at the bottom and detach them so I can go ahead and hide these images. Up at the top on the layers, I'm going to click the eyeballs next to each one. And now I need to know, what am I going to work with next? I'm going to do the easier items first, which is his shirt. So I'm going to unclick the eyeball on this so we can see it. And we need the mirror image, and unclick that. Okay. These cute little shirts can also be cut on one cardstock. They both can fit on the upper line actually. We just need to do the same thing. Make sure they're within the 12 by 12. Do a select all. Go down to the bottom of the layers to the paper clip. Hit attach. Now once it is attached, we go up to the top to the right and click on make it. We will go through the exact same step. It's showing you what it should look like with the red cardstock. You come down, because that's how I want it to look. Everything looks good. I'm going to come down to the bottom right and hit continue. It is trying to pick up my Cricut again. It's not picking it up, probably because I have 2. It wants to know which one am I using. I know. I have 2 Cricuts, I have 2 silhouettes, and I have a scan and cut. I'm out of control. But, okay, so here it is. So once again, we are going to go ahead and put the cardstock in and cut it. Alright, my red is already loaded. All I have to do is hit the cut. Remember, I already had it on cardstock. Everything looked good. So we're going to hit cut. It's thinking, and here we go. Alright, it is done. So once again, it tells me unload. So I hit the button, catch it before it falls, and now you can see the outlines of the shirts. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of this cardstock off, and I will save what wasn't used, and then I will see you back on to the computer. All right, now the shirts are cut out. So I head on down to the finish button to the right, lower, click finish to bring me back to the mat. And now we're gonna do the body of Winnie the Pooh. This is a little more work to it in order to save paper. I'm gonna go ahead and hide these. I don't need them anymore. I'm going over to the layers, to the little eyeball, click on it, and click on the other one. And now I'm looking for the Winnie the Pooh body. I'm gonna unclick the eye and unclick this eye. So we have both sides. Now, in order to save paper, because it reads it together, this is together in the Cricut mind, we need to contour the face off of one and the body off of others. Now, we need to have 2 of this image and 2 of this image as well in order to do that. I am going to put him over here. I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to duplicate him. So you can right click, or you can go over to the layers at the top and click on duplicate. Now we have 2 of these Winnie the Pooh. Click on one of them, go down to your layers again to the very bottom, right here where it says contour, click on contour. Now it's going to ask us, what do we want to hide from the screen? If you click on the lower body, it is just one big piece, and we will have to do the head and the body. When you click on the head, you need to make sure you get every single piece, the eyes, the nose, the smile, the dimples, the eyebrows, all of it. So let's contour the head first. So we click on the head, we click on the eyebrow, the eyes, and you can see right here on my screen, the image is going away as I click it. I'll click on the other eye, watch it disappears, there you go. Click on the nose and the smile, disappears, and now we have the little chin dimple. There we go. All we have left is the lower body. Great, that's what I want. I'll go to the top and X out of this hide contour screen. And here we have a Winnie the Pooh body. Now we will click on the other one that looks exactly the same. Go down to the bottom of the layers and hit contour again. And this time we are going to hide the opposite. So we already did the head, now we click on the body. Luckily it's just one. We go to the top, hit the X to X out, and here we have the head. And we can get it as close as we possibly can, and now it will cut like that, saving our paper. We need to do the exact same thing for the mirror image, so we're going to duplicate 2 Winnie the Poohs, click on one, go to the bottom of the layers, hit contour again, and we do the exact same thing. So let's do the bottom first, up to the top, hit the X to click out, and now we have a Winnie the Pooh head. Click on this image, to the bottom of the layers to contour. Now we have to get rid of the Winnie the Pooh head. We get rid of the main head, eyebrow, eyebrow, eye, nose, and cute little dimple. Go to the top, hit the X, and here we are. Voila! And you can do this for all the different projects that you want to do to save paper, you can always contour. Contour. Let's see if I have to attach it. Alright, so I have it. I'm going to click Make It. You see how it puts it on two different pieces of paper? We do not want that. So I'm going to hit Cancel at the bottom. And I'm going to select all. I'm going to hit the attached little paper clip at the bottom of the layers. It is going to attach it to the mat so it reads it as one image. Go back up to the top right, hit Make It, and it's all on one piece of cardstock now. Excellent. Go down to the bottom, hit Continue. I have to tell it which device. If you only have one connected, it will automatically read it. You don't have to tell it which device. Okay, material still cardstock, perfect. Alright, we're back. Here we are with the body color all ready to go. I already loaded it to the mat. I just hit go. Alright, it's all done. I'm gonna hit the exit button. And our Winnies were all cut out. Alright. Alright, we are all done cutting Winnie. So we're gonna run down to the bottom of the screen and hit that finish button just to clear out the project. We are back to our mat with the Winnie the Pooh, but we are completely done with Winnie the Pooh. You are more than welcome, if you think you're going to make a lot of these in the future and you don't want to redo all the contouring, you can always save it in My Projects. So you would hit at the top right hand corner, you would hit Save, you would give it a name. If I could spell Winnie right, contoured. And then you can make it public or non-public. And then you hit save. It's completely up to you what you do. And you hit save. Now, if you ever want to make that project again and you're on a blank screen, you would come up here to My Projects. And there it is, all saved, ready to go. You would just click on this and everything would be done for you, ready to go ahead and cut out. Alright, so here's some other things I did for clients. But that is it. That's the part of the Cricut. I'm going to meet you over on how to put everything together. Okay. So here we have all the items cut out and ready to go. Let me show you exactly what we should have cut out. Here is the body and the head for each side, and then you should have two of the background of each side. And it's going to go on like this. And then you should have a red shirt for each side. Now, we are going to take the items and I am going to put the double backing on together first. It makes it easier to put them on when there's no items on top, like the shirt and the body and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm going to find the two that go together. These two are the same, and I want the double thickness of the item because cardstock is not that thick. I'm using the Scotch Advanced Tape Glider for my HTV. And this, like I was saying, the cardstock is not very thick. So I double it up. So when we go to put the popsicle sticks on, you don't see them through the project. Okay. So I just take one of the sides that I'm working on, and I am going to put the adhesive all over this Winnie the Pooh. I am going to follow the outline, as you can see. And this can be a little tricky. Winnie the Pooh has a little bit of different angles, but these tricks, I guess it's not tricks, the way that we are making this Winnie the Pooh, you can take all of this information and make any centerpiece that you want to. I picked this Winnie the Pooh so I could show you the contouring with the design space, and then it is one of the easier items to put together for starters. But you can do this for any image. Alright, I have a little HTV on that was overlapping on the side, so I was fixing that. And then I am just going to make sure that his full body has enough adhesive on it to stick both sides together, that they will not come up. Okie dokie, here comes the part where we have to line them up. And this can be a little tricky depending on the image, but I'm going to set them up here and try to guide them in. And sometimes it's easier to set the items up if they have feet and they are no angles of a vertical design. And sometimes it's easier laying it down. If you do not press the HTV in right away, then you can always move it around. But I have it, it's good. I'm gonna go ahead and seal it. Alright, make sure they are sealed really good together. Nothing's gonna come up. That's all I'm doing, is making sure both pieces of paper are sealed together. I'm just checking it. Alright. Looks good. This is a roller. I was trying to think of the name of it. I don't remember the name of it right now. It's an item I got from Michael's, and it just makes sure the adhesive is all put together. I was going to say smushed together. The technical term, smushed together. I am taking the other side now and doing the exact same thing. Putting the two backgrounds together to make the cardstock thicker. Once again, I'm just putting the HTV all the way, whoo, having problems with talking today, all the way around, and then I will once again put it in the middle to seal it. Wow, I am having talking issues today. So you see how these are really little and there's a lot of edges to it. So I won't do the roller on these type of items because of the little tiny pointed edges on the shirt. I will get out my Xyron and we will make stickers out of them that way. It's easier. But when we have big items like the background, like this Winnie the Pooh, for me, I do not use the Xyron for it because I feel like it's a waste of the sticky. And then I can use the roller on it. It's not that big of a deal. I'm checking to make sure that the adhesive isn't showing through the other side. Like I didn't get an edge and then it's on the other side. If it is, I just tuck it in. Looks good. So now I am putting it in the middle. Alright, it's all adhesive up. I get the other cardstock and make them dance again and then pair them up. So concentration, I know. So it fits perfectly together without any overlap, so you don't see that it is two pieces of cardstock. You saw that I pulled it off the end there because I didn't have it lined up exactly. And like I said, as long as you don't press down the adhesive, you are able to get it up sometimes. Alright, so here we go. It's lining up, great. It is good to go. So I'm pressing down the adhesive to make sure it is good to go, set, and then I'm rollering it just to verify that it does get all adhered to each other. Alright, so we are done with that part. Now we are moving on to my Xyron. This is the Creative Station. It is the 9-inch Creative Station Xyron sticker maker. I have the sticker adhesive roll inside, and I am going to make stickers out of the body, the head, and the shirt. I just place it into the machine. I roll away, and voila! We will have a sticker. I'm going to put the body, the heads, and the shirts into this to make stickers. It is a lot easier when you have the smaller items with the edging and little details in items to make them into stickers instead of using the rollers. For me. Of course, do what works best for you. Whatever you do that makes it easier for you, do it. I choose to make stickers out of these items. Alright, all of them are in and done. I'm going to cut off the sticker paper. Move my Xyron out of the way. And here we go. I'm going to remove the top part. Now I am going to start putting the backing onto each other to make it into a centerpiece. So what I was looking at was, where did I want to put the stick? I can't put it straight in the middle because you can see there's a cutout to his feet. and between his legs, and his feet are not the same length when he is standing straight. So I need to accommodate for that depending on where I want to put the stick. I'm putting the stick on the foot that is farther down, because then that will give me a better threshold if I want the foot to sit right onto the base. I can. Where if I put it on the other foot, you have to accommodate for the other foot being longer, and you will definitely see the stick. Alright, so this stick is going to go into that base to make it into a centerpiece. You can have them longer sticks and put them into a pot with decorations and rocks and all that stuff. This is just how I do it, is putting it into a wood base. Then I take popsicle sticks and I glue them onto the cardstock. This will make the centerpiece stronger, and it will allow it to stand. Not on its own, it needs to be in a base, but it will stand without drooping. And they say that putting the sticks in a triangle configuration makes it stronger, but sometimes depending on the centerpiece, that's not always capable to do that. So I just make sure you get anywhere that you think it would bend or not help it stand up straight, and just put sticks there. I'm pressing that stick down with another stick. You can use your fingers, but hot glue can be hot sometimes. I am using a glue gun, as you see from Uline. It's one of the heavy duty glue guns, because I went through so many of the ones that you can get at Michael's. Alright. Now I'm grabbing my littler sticks that I've already cut to see if that will work in there. I need to make sure that it goes all the way to the top. I grab my all-purpose cutters that I got at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's in the tool section. It's really an all-purpose cutter. I cut one of the popsicle sticks so it will go up to the top. That way his head won't be floppy when you go to put it together. Alright. I'm checking to make sure that there isn't any spots that I feel would collapse, and now I'm putting a stick across the two to connect it, because I felt that the middle part of it would and could possibly bend. It doesn't mean that it will, but could possibly bend, and I want to make sure it doesn't do that, especially during a party. So once I put this stick in the middle, it should stabilize the centerpiece. And it does. Just pressing it down, making sure it's good and adhered to the one side. Alright, that's the one side. Just cleaning off the glue. And this is the other side, and now we have to put it on together. When you're first doing this, and this is one of the simpler designs because it is straight up and down, but in order to make sure the alignment is good and it stays together, you can always use these clips or paper clips to keep it on together straight, so while you're gluing it, it does not move around. And that's what I'm going to show you here. As soon as I get it all lined up, which can be difficult sometimes, depending on how your paper cuts. Alright, so now I'm putting a clip halfway down the body and a clip on the other side halfway down. And then you pick a side and start there. You can start from the head and move your way down, or you can start at the feet and move your way down. It is completely up to you and whatever you are comfortable with. I am going to start with the head, and I hot glue the sticks, and do it in sections so the hot glue doesn't harden on you before you get to it. A little bit a ways in, hot glue around the area that you are going to put the other cardstock down on, and then put some all over the place. And it is going to press down, the glue will press down, so if it's too close to the edge, it will press out of the sides, and you can easily just remove that with your hand before it dries. Now, if for any reason it dries before you can get it down, it's hard and you can't smush the two cardstock sides together, you can always use a hair dryer to heat up the glue. You wave it back and forth on the cardstock to heat up the glue, and then you'll be able to adhere it together. Be careful that you do not burn the paper when you do that. Move it quickly. Alright, so I'm checking the edges, make sure that everything is put together. I don't like to see in between the different cardstocks what's in between it, so I make sure the edges are completely together. So when you look at a centerpiece sideways, it looks like it's one. Okay, and then we just move on down in sections. So that is what I am doing here. I see how far away I am from the edges. Close, but not too close. And I'm just going to move my way right on down this centerpiece until we get to the feet. Alright, doing the same thing, just pressing it together in sections, and then I move on to the last part. And then after this section, you will see that the stick, the centerpiece stick, I go right up to it, but the cardstock on the stick area will not completely go together because the stick is so big. And I get those sticks to put into my wood frames base from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You can get them at both places. I'm sure you can get them other places too. That's just where I get them. Alright, press it down. Make sure it is all good to go. I'm looking at the edges, make sure I'm happy with everything. Make sure it's all put together to my liking, your liking. All right. Now we need to put the Winnie the Pooh on. Now I'm taking off the top of the sticker sheet. Just throw that away. We don't need that. All right. So I am going to start with the shirt. I'm taking the shirt off of the piece of paper, and you can see it has adhesive now all on the back, but it also goes through the little slits. So I'm going to take a tool. This is the tool that you take off the mats and stuff, and I'm just going to take that adhesive off of the items I do not want it on, because once you get it placed onto your cardstock, it is harder to get it off. You can get it off, but it just takes a little more work. So I'm taking it off now in the places I do not need it. Alright, almost there. There's a lot of little areas on this. Okay, so we take the shirt on the side that we are doing. We are lining it up to the background of how the shirt goes. And you can see the outline of where the shirt should be. I had to stand up to overlook the area to make sure it's even on both sides. And then just press it down when I have it where I want it. Press, press, press. Press it down. Press, press, press. All right. Press, 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 press. Voila! Now he has a shirt. And now we need to put his head and his body on. Now I'm just clearing out the extra adhesive again. All the areas that I do not need it, just clearing it out. And depending on which item or image you pick, you might have more to do or less to do, and depending on how you put your adhesive on. Since I chose to use sticker paper, I have to get rid of the adhesive in the areas I do not want it. Alright, looks good. Let's put his head on. Standing up for this to make sure it's aligned. Alright, there we go. Winnie the Pooh is coming together. One little item at a time. now we just have to put the lower part on. So let me grab his lower part for this side. Alright, once again, gotta get rid of that extra adhesive. And even though I have to get rid of the extra adhesive, this is still the quickest way for me to get this done. You can probably hear my little one in the background. If you can, he's singing. We definitely like to sing around this household. Are you guys singers? Okay. One more spot. Okay. That looks good. Now we just have to put a lower part on. Stand up. Make sure I'm standing up to go over to make sure I line it perfectly. Sometimes I can't see depending on the angles. Alright. That looks good. Smush, smush, smush. That's my technical term. Smush it down. Make sure the adhesive gets on nicely. I'm just wiping away any adhesive I don't need. It rolls right off. It rolls into little balls, and then you can swipe it away. But I'm pressing it down, cleaning it up. Alright, and then you do the exact same thing on the other side, and then you will have a centerpiece, a two-sided centerpiece. And that's it. You just go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side, and then your Winnie the Pooh centerpiece will be almost done.
Mommy.
Alright, the only thing left to do after all the other work is the blocks. If you are going to make blocks or not, you can do other bases, whatever you want. I put mine on blocks. So in order to do that, I buy these square blocks, and I'm going to show you what they look like beforehand. And I paint them. I painted them either white or black, and then drill a hole in the middle. So let me go over to where I keep them, and then I'm going to show you how I drill them, but you can use a regular drill too. But hold on. Alright, we're in our garage, but these are the blocks, and I can get them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and you can get them online as well too. And then I paint them, like I said, either white or black depending on the centerpiece, and then you drill a hole the same size. You can't see that one. Drill a hole the same size of the stick that you put in your centerpiece, so it can fit and sit in there. You can use a drill, but make sure you get it straight so the centerpiece is straight. Or if you come over here, I have a drill press. Sorry, am I walking too fast? So all of our stuff. I have a drill press. It's the Win drill press. It's already set up for the dimensions that I need. And I just put the block on, I turn it on, and I move this up and down. And it's exactly the bit that I need to make my holes. See, I have some over here, sitting over here, getting ready. They're done painted and I just need to put holes in them. And that, my friends, is my drill press. It makes it so the holes are straight. Therefore, the centerpiece will stand straight up and down. But if you're doing this just for yourself, for a party or a shower or something that you have coming up, you can absolutely do it with a regular drill. Just make sure it's straight. All right, everyone, that's it. From start to finish on how to make a centerpiece. I did it specifically with the Winnie the Pooh because I did get a lot of requests for that specific centerpiece, but you can take these same tools and tricks and everything and do it for any of the images that you need to work on. If you have any questions about this, sorry for all the lighting's bad in here. But if you have any questions on how to do this or need information, just leave it in the comments below. I will be happy to help you. If it's something that's going to take a long time, I will tell you I will do a video on it. All right? Absolutely no problems. I will do it. Let me know. Until next time. Bye.